right, let's tackle the world of Canadian banking. We're going to break down all your options, from the massive traditional banks to the slick digital newcomers. By the end of this, you'll know exactly how to find the right place for your money.
Picking a bank can feel like you've been dropped into a huge new world without a map. There are so many choices, it's easy to get a little overwhelmed. But don't you worry, that's what we're here for. Think of us as your personal guide. We're going to map this whole thing out together.
So our first stop is probably the most familiar place on the map. The big, traditional brick-and-mortar banks. You know the ones. Their names are on skyscrapers and on Main Street corners all across the country. These are the old-school kingdoms of Canadian money.
In a world where pretty much everything is digital, what these giants offer is something you can actually touch and see. A real place you can walk into, and a real person you can talk to. For a lot of people, that kind of stability and human connection is a really big deal.
And just look at how deep their roots go. We're talking about banks that have been around forever. BMO was founded way back in 1817. That's over 200 years. This long history is basically their calling card. It screams financial stability.
Let's just take a quick look at the biggest of them all, RBC. It's Canada's largest bank, and it's basically a one-stop shop for your finances. You can get anything from a simple checking account to complicated wealth management, all under one big red and blue roof.
And if you want to get a sense of just how big they are, get this. 19 million customers. That is more than half the entire population of Canada. It just shows you the incredible reach an institution like this really has.
Now the other big players, TD, BMO, CIBC, and Scotiabank, they all kind of play the same game. They've all got the full suite of products. And while their logos and colors are different, what they actually offer is pretty similar. One key thing to watch for is that monthly fee. But good news is, you can usually get it waived if you keep a certain amount of money in your account.
Okay, let's leave those old kingdoms behind and travel to a new part of the map, the frontier. This is the world of online-only banks. These guys have traded in physical branches for pure digital convenience and speed.
And wow, the difference is huge. Instead of walking into a branch, you get a super powerful app on your phone. Instead of paying monthly fees, you usually pay, well, nothing. And you're not stuck with banker's hours anymore. You've got access 24/7. So the trade-off is pretty clear. You give up the in-person service, but you gain a ton in savings and convenience.
So who are the main players here? Well, what's really interesting is that some of the biggest ones, like Tangerine and Simply, are actually owned by the big banks. So you get the rock-solid backing of a giant, but you get to use the slick, low-cost setup of a digital bank. It's kind of like the best of both worlds.
And this right here, this is their secret sauce. The whole business model is built on being lean. They don't have to pay rent for fancy branches or have as many tellers on staff. And all that money they save gets passed directly to you in the form of no-fee accounts and higher interest rates on your savings.
Our last stop on this journey takes us to the innovators. Now, these aren't technically banks, they're more like specialized financial tech companies. Think of them as master craftspeople who are laser-focused on doing just one or two things and doing them incredibly well.
First up, there's Wealthsimple. This platform is like a whole financial toolkit in your pocket. It mixes your everyday spending with really powerful, low-cost investing tools. You can do self-directed trading, even get into crypto, all in one smooth app.
Koho has a really smart idea. It's a free spending account, but its coolest feature is the roundup. Every time you buy a coffee or anything else, it rounds the price up to the nearest dollar and poof, drops that spared change right into your savings. It makes saving money totally effortless.
Moga takes that same roundup idea but puts a twist on it. It invests the money for you. You just link whatever cards you use, and it automatically invests your spare change into a portfolio of funds. It's a brilliant way to start investing without even realizing you're doing it.
Neo Financial is all about the rewards. They've partnered with thousands of stores to offer some seriously high cash back rates on their credit cards. They also offer managed investing, and they work with established banks behind the scenes to keep everything secure.
Okay, we have explored the whole map. We've seen the old kingdoms, the new digital frontiers, and the specialized innovators. So now, how do you use this map to chart your own course and find your financial treasure?
Here's a simple 5-step guide to help you decide. It all starts with figuring out what you actually need. Then you got to look closely at the details like minimum balances, those pesky fees, how you can access your money, and of course the fine print. This is the biggest and most important question you'll have to ask yourself, right? If you're someone who really values talking to a person face-to-face for big stuff like a mortgage, then one of the giants is probably your best bet.
But if you're totally comfortable doing everything on your phone and your #1 priority is saving money on fees, then a digital bank from the frontier is almost certainly for you. Your own habits will point you in the right direction.
And please pay close attention to this one. A small monthly fee, $5 or $10, might not seem like a big deal, but over years and decades, that adds up to thousands of dollars that could have stayed in your pocket or been invested for your future. Always, always be on the lookout for fees.
So there you have it. We've laid out the entire landscape for you. The map is in your hands, you know where all the landmarks are, and you've got the compass to guide you. The only question left is, where are you going to go next on your financial journey?